Welcome to this video on the silent threat of electronic compliance. Today, we'll unpack why relying solely on email or online check-ins for mandated government or legal monitoring can put your status at risk. We will explain the communication black hole, walk through a 4-step response plan, and equip you with a documentation toolkit to protect yourself. Along the way, we will use diagrams, examples, and quick quizzes to reinforce what you learned. Let's begin. First, let's reframe the problem. Silence after a required submission is not benign. It is a potential compliance failure. In legal and bureaucratic contexts, the burden of proof that you submitted on time and that your submission was received rests on you, not the agency. Therefore, non-response cannot be treated as successful compliance. Instead, it is a signal to take immediate action. Here is our agenda. We will start with the communication black hole and why it happens. Next, we will explain why waiting is risky. Then, we will cover a 4-step response plan, including phone calls, written confirmations, and when to go in person. After that, we will show you how to document everything effectively. We will also visualize the process with multiple diagrams. And finally, we will test your understanding with short quizzes. This flowchart shows the life cycle of a required email submission. You send the email, then you check for a confirmation. If you receive confirmation, you archive it and keep proof. If not, and it has been 7 days, you escalate by calling the responsible office. If the call confirms receipt, you request written confirmation, such as an email or letter referencing your submission. If the call does not confirm receipt, you escalate again and consider an in-person visit, taking all your documentation. The goal is to end with compliance that is actually protected, not assumed. Before we proceed, a brief but essential disclaimer. This content is general information and does not constitute legal advice. Regulations and procedures vary by jurisdiction and program. If you need advice for your case, consult a licensed attorney or contact the responsible agency directly. Next, let's address the risk of waiting. A 2-month silence after a required email check-in is not a backlog. It is a critical failure point. Agencies and legal bodies generally will not assume compliance in your favor. The longer you wait, the more exposure you have to penalties, violations, or adverse decisions. Therefore, you must treat silence as a trigger to act quickly, not as a cue to be patient. Here is a 4-step response plan. First, do not rely on email alone. If you do not receive a human acknowledgement within 5 to 7 business days, escalate. Second, call the responsible office. Have your identifying details ready and ask for confirmation of receipt and status. Third, written confirmation matters. Verbal assurances are not enough for official records. Request an email or letter referencing your submission. If they will not provide it, document the call, including date, time, the representative's name, and exact statements. Fourth, if uncertainty persists after calls, plan an in-person visit. Bring printed proof of your emailed submission and request a date-stamped or otherwise official confirmation to safeguard your compliance. This sequence diagram models an efficient phone call. Start by giving your subject ID, case number, and the exact date and time you sent the email. Ask whether they can confirm receipt and provide the status. If they find your submission, request written confirmation. If they can't find it, or the status is unclear, ask whether you should resend and through which channel, and request a reference number along with the representative's name for your records. This mind map centers on the compliance check-in process and the escalation pathway. It begins with the email submission, including key proof elements like timestamps, attachments, and a screenshot of the sent folder. If there is no confirmation after 7 days, the map branches to escalation. The phone call branch emphasizes having your ID information ready, asking for status, and capturing a reference number and representative name. The written confirmation branch captures the types of documentation you should secure, such as an email acknowledgement, a formal letter, or a note added to your case file. If ambiguity persists, the in-person visit branch highlights bringing printed proofs and asking for a date-stamped receipt, possibly with a scheduled appointment. Finally, the documentation branch underpins every stage with a call log, optional certified mail, and a backup submission method. The timeline diagram shows the ideal tempo. On day 0, you submit your email with all needed attachments. By days 3 to 5, you check for acknowledgments. If none arrive by day 5 to 7, you escalate with a phone call. Around week 2, if you still lack clarity, request written confirmation or use an alternate channel. By weeks 3 to 4, if there is lingering uncertainty, make an in-person visit and obtain a date-stamped receipt. Between weeks 4 and 8, maintain your records and continue saving any confirmations to protect your status. This comparison contrasts the email-only approach with a multi-channel strategy. An email-only approach depends on the system to process your submission without verification, often relying on assumptions and leaving a minimal proof trail. This leads to a high risk of unrecorded compliance. In contrast, a multi-channel approach introduces proactive follow-up by phone within 7 days, seeks written confirmation, and builds a robust documentation trail. These redundancies reduce your risk significantly. This table outlines the core elements of your proof portfolio. The sent email and timestamp prove timely submission. Capture this with a screenshot and a saved export of the email. The attachments list shows completeness. Keep printouts or file hashes. The call log supports any verbal confirmations. Record date, time, the representative's name, reference number, and a short summary. Written confirmation provides an official record, ideally via email or a letter. Finally, an in-person receipt offers definitive verification through a date stamp or ticket number. Your toolkit should include screenshots of your sent folder and timestamps, saved copies of your emails as both PDF and .ml files, a call log template or notebook, and careful recording of reference numbers and representative names. Consider using certified mail or tracked delivery as a backup channel when appropriate. Finally, store all proof materials in a well-organized cloud backup to ensure redundancy. Use this checklist as a step-by-step guide and the phone log template to standardize your documentation. Check off each task as you complete it. To the phone log, record the date and time, the number dialed, the representative's name or ID, any reference or case number provided, a brief summary of the discussion, what follow-up was promised and by when, and your next action. Quiz time. Question: if you submit a mandated check-in by email and receive no human acknowledgement after 1 week, what is the best next step? Option A: wait another month. Option B: call the responsible office with your identifiers ready. Option C: resend the same email and do nothing else. Option D: assume the auto receipt equals compliance. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to call the responsible office with your identifiers ready. Direct contact is the fastest way to confirm receipt and status and to obtain a path toward written confirmation. Second quiz question: is an automated receipt email alone sufficient proof of compliance in most mandated monitoring scenarios? Option A: yes, always. Option B: only if the instructions explicitly say so. Option C: never, under any circumstances. Option D: only after 2 months of silence. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is that an automated receipt is sufficient only if the instructions explicitly state that it constitutes proof of compliance. Otherwise, you should escalate and secure human confirmation and written documentation. These are the key takeaways. Treat silence as a risk signal. Escalate within 5 to 7 business days if you do not receive a human acknowledgement. Prioritize phone confirmation and then obtain written proof. Escalate to an in-person visit if necessary. Document every step with screenshots, call logs, and receipts. Build redundancy into your process to protect your status. In summary, email is the starting point, but not the proof of compliance. If you do not receive a human acknowledgement by day 7, escalate. Your goal is to secure written confirmation. If doubt persists, an in-person visit can close the loop with a date-stamped receipt. Finally, maintain a rigorous proof portfolio so that your compliance is documented beyond dispute. Thank you for watching. If this video helped, please like it, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more practical guides. In the comments, tell us your toughest compliance challenges or questions so we can cover them in future videos.